Hey guys, how you doing? We're just doing a video on pan cars. If you're anything like me, you got it out of the box and put it all together and maybe had some issues with it. Well, hopefully I can help you out because I've had just about every issue you could possibly have. So I'm going to just go over a couple things. A buddy of mine I hooked up with, we became really good friends. His name's Jeff, and he helped me out a lot and showed me a lot of things that I did wrong, and I appreciate all of his help. Hopefully I could pass some of it on to you guys, because it definitely got my car at least to where now I'm still working on some fine tweaks to it, but majority of it is me, so that's a whole other issue, but it's not the car. So one of the biggest things I've learned with these pan cars is this back pod. The back pod is the part where your motor goes, this whole back section. You have your two side links right here on a Clandora car. Okay. This back pod, you want to make sure it moves freely in all directions. No binding, no popping, no nothing. If it's hard to move from side to side, you might need to loosen up your side links. Check them. Them screws are just in there as a safety precaution so it doesn't pop off the balls. Okay, so you make sure your screws on your side links are loose. Not loose to the point where they're going to fall out, but if you tighten them and it adds friction to your back pod, okay, then you need to loosen it again. What I would recommend is taking the screws completely out of the car and see how the back pod feels. Put them back in, tighten them, snug them just a little bit. Keep feeling it as you're tightening them. If you feel the back pod getting stiffer, back them off just a little bit. Okay? Like I said, you want this thing to move as smoothly and freely as possible, and if not, you will have a hard time driving it. I had my side links too tight, and I had a hard time driving it. Okay, so simple little things that I've learned. I'm not going to put the tube lube in now because the car's got to come back apart. Put your side links. Your side tubes. What you want to do, put your lube in them, okay, and then snap them into place. As you have your lube in it and everything, you want to work it side to side and back and forth. Make sure that that part you just put on didn't have a kink in the tube or something damaged in the tube that you may not have seen or felt. Make sure it's moving freely. Okay. I'll put some lube on this one just to show you how I do the lube on the side. Okay, I just take a small line of lube and I go down the side of the tube. Okay, then I take this part and I just spin it as I'm going on with it. Okay, and I clean the excess up with my finger. Okay. And I saw it all the way down, and I just want to work it back and forth, twisting it, so the lube is consistent all the way through the tube. Okay, and it should be nice and smooth like butter. If anything binds on these cars that looks like a moving part or is a moving part, then there's something wrong with it. Either replace it or fix it. Okay, because these cars are very finicky if you haven't already noticed. Okay, and now your tube's on. Once again, now that you have your other tube in, check it. Make sure there's nothing hitting, bumping, rubbing, smashing, binding, anything. It should be free floating. Now I don't have my shock on there. That thing should be nice and free. One other thing I see a lot of people do, my buddy told me not to do, is that if you could see the wires that we're running, they're 16 gauge TQ wire. Okay, these wires are really, really flexible. Okay, I see some guys run big 14 gauge. What happens when you put your body on and these wires are smushed in there, this pod cannot move properly. Okay, so I would definitely, if you don't already have it, I would definitely think about getting TQ wire. Okay, in my opinion, it's the best thing out there. Okay, so now you have that in. Last thing is the shock. Okay, your shock's on. You want to make sure, once again, we're going to go through the nice fluid motion. That pod's moving perfectly. Okay, there's no binding, there's no popping, there's no clicking. It doesn't sound any noises coming out of it. Okay, that's good. And once again, I want to go back over too with these wires is that you have your shock in there. You know, make sure all this stuff is out of the way when you put your body on. Okay, you don't want these wires to be smushed in your suspension. Okay, because now the little bit of suspension this car has, okay, you're going to be messing with it with all these wires smushed in your body. Not sure what kind of body everybody's running. Everybody has different preferences. I have one that has a big center line. This is a Proform PF 1612. It's a little beat up right now, but this one here, when I put the body on, all the wires go up in here, nice, and they don't smush. Okay. One other thing is, we'll go over your axles a little bit. I've seen some people make mistakes with the axles. And, you know, I'm sure everybody has their own opinion out there, and somebody might be watching this video and saying, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or somebody else might be saying the dude's a genius. I'm just giving you my insight and just trying to help people out, so you don't get frustrated with your paint car and don't want to race it anymore. I love the hobby, it's great, and I encourage people to sign up and race and do whatever they can do to enjoy it as well as I do. Like I said, these are just some things I've done wrong. I put my axle in just a little bit and then I spin it just to make sure that the bearings in the back and everything are happy. Okay, give it a couple of good spins. Okay, I've seen some people take these hubs and smush them together like that and tighten them up. Well, that's not good. Okay, so what you want to do is you want a little bit of end play. How much end play? Everybody likes a different amount. What I generally do is I want it to move side to side enough to where I can see it moving a little bit. That's too much. That's too little. You know, just a little bit of end play, side to side. Okay, that way if you do clip a wall or something like that, it doesn't really damage your bearings as bad. Some cases it might save them. Some cases it may not lock your axle up after you clip a wall, because it's going to happen. Okay. One other thing I've noticed with these, particularly with the CRC cars, the back rear, the diff. Okay, there's really good videos out there on how to rebuild the diff. I'm not going to get too much into that, but setting your diff up is very important. Okay. These things here should spin opposite directions, the two tires, and they should spin freely. Some guys say there should be a gritty feel. My opinion, if it feels gritty, there's something wrong with it. Mine are nice and smooth. Okay. Now as you tighten up your diff, what I like to start with is that when you go to spin your spur gear, that possibility that might feel gritty because you're feeling the friction on the balls. Okay, what I do is I grab both tires, I stick my thumb on it, and it should be almost hard to turn with your thumb. And you just go in little increments. As I'm doing that, and I feel my side to side play. Okay. See, there you go. That's just a little too tight. I'm going to crack it off just a little bit. And see, my side to side is still nice and smooth. Okay, that's a pretty good starting point. That I'll put on the track, see how she feels. I can always adjust it. Keep this in your pocket. You're going to need it. Always after the track, get done running it, go over the car, sweep the nuts front to back, underneath it, check it, make sure none of these screws loosen up. I've had a few screws where these, especially on the side balls, they loosen up and they drag in the carpet. So every run I make, I check the screws. What else? Yeah, Yeah, I mean, another thing, you know, a lot of good information on videos I found out there on ride height. Ride height's very important. So setting your front end of your car up. Camber obviously is very important. And you guys can go online. Clandora has them, and they have a setup sheet. Okay, I'm older now, so I don't remember everything. You know, I want to. Particularly my son and I, we have two different driving styles, so I write stuff down because I can't remember everything, the size of the tires and however much cut them, whatnot. Okay, we run our cambers at 0. Okay, what I like to do is I have my ride height gauge. Sorry about the piece of glass. Got the car sitting on a piece of glass, and what you want to do is put your ride height gauge next to your tire. Well, if it's flush on the ground, and if you're going to run 0 camber, it should be flush up against the rim. That's your 0 camber. Nothing special. No camber gauge, no nothing. Stuff you already got in your toolbox anyway. Same thing with the other side. Take your ride height gauge, set it up against it. If your rim's touching top and bottom, you're at 0 camber. Okay? Nice and simple. I run 0 camber on my cars, which most guys probably will. Okay? No special tools required. I was just checking this ride height when I was doing this video, and I just found out that my son's ride height's all messed up, so I have to go through that and see why. Okay, I got 4.5 in the front, 4.5 in the middle, and I got 3 in the back. Okay, so I have to go through his car and see what happened with that and why his ride height getting messed up. General rule of thumb is if on your ride height, I don't know if it's rule of thumb or what I like to start out with is I want 3.5, okay, and in the back I want 4. So this should be about a 0.5 millimeter higher in the back, okay, and I'm a 0.5 millimeter lower. So I have to change my shims or cut my tires to a different spec or whatever I got to do to fix that. I haven't decided yet. But that's the main things I've noticed with the pan cars. Hopefully this video helps you. Helps you get your car set up, maybe take some of the aggravation out of it. Tires are another big thing. You know, always check your tires, true them, mic them from side to side, make sure your measurements are the same. One other thing I like to touch on, it's kind of hard to demonstrate, but when you got your car, okay, this is something I found out. Okay, your car is here. That's your pan car. Sorry for the matchbox. What you want to do is you want to turn your car, and this will help you with your setup a little bit too, all the way to the right, and you want to make a circle. Okay, and you want to mark that with your foot, have somebody stand there, whatever. Okay, now you want to take your car, flip it around the other way. Okay, now you want to make a circle to the left. If your car makes the same circle to the left as it does to the right, you're good. Now you can go drive the car. Now it's going to turn the same amount left and the same amount right, and with the same amount of effort on the steering wheel. Okay, it's not going to stop your car from sliding out in the turns because you can put too much steering in a pan car. If that's the case, if your pan car is going and you're cutting the wheel and it's sliding out in the turns, you might need to take some steering out of it. Okay, you could do that with your remote, adjusting your endpoints or whatnot. But yeah, this is my video, and hopefully it helped you out, and you know, hope to see you in the A-Main.